Not so much, because after the show, the people that laughed went home. People in blue waited out in the parking lot and say something else. They say Penn State fans bleed blue, but they punch black and blue.
I got a good laugher back there.
Well, it's grand. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Abby. Well, it's Groundhog Day, and I'm surprised when you look on the internet, Groundhog Day is covered throughout the world. India, China, everybody wants to know what the groundhog's going to do. People think that it's kind of stupid, a rodent coming out of his nest and talking to a man in a top hat about the weather. But really, is it any sillier than some of our other holiday traditions? What do we do for Christmas? We kill a tree and prop it up in the living room. What do we do for Easter? Easter we get downright abusive. We hide breakfast food from children and they can go find it. What do we do for Halloween? Children dress up and pretend like they're monsters, and then we feed them candy that turns them into real monsters. Some people check their smoke detector on every day when the day comes when you turn your clocks back. Groundhog Day is kind of like that for me. Every Groundhog Day, that's the one day a year I check my landline phone messages. The landline has really taken a dive over the last 10 or 20 years. It used to be called a home phone, it used to be the telephone, then it became the landline. Now it's the phone number you give to people you never want to hear from. It used to be when you went out with a girl and she gave you her home phone, that meant she was waving you home. Now she gives you her landline number, she's waving goodbye. So, I grew up just right over the mountain from Punxsutawney, and Punxsutawney, that was a tough place to go play any kind of sport. The Punxsutawney, they don't have a swimming and diving team, they have a dumpster diving team. One year we went out to play a football game at Punxsutawney, the football had 5 toes on it. Track and field is usually a pretty safe sport. It's usually a non-contact sport, but everything's tough when you play Punxsutawney at Punxsutawney. One year we went up for a track meet, and I sustained a very serious leg injury when somebody shot me with a loaded starting pistol. Of course, this year, Punxsutawney Phil had some trouble at the outset. When he came out of the hole, he was arrested by 3 FBI agents. It seems that because Punxsutawney Phil lives in a hole in the ground and he hibernates all winter, authorities thought that he was an Al-Qaeda sleeper cell. But there were many celebrities in Punxsutawney today. Mitt Romney showed up. Mr. Romney said that whether the groundhog sees his shadow or not, he's going to spend the next 6 weeks in Tahiti. And of course, Hillary Clinton has retired from her post as Secretary of State. She just wants to get away from the press, get away from problems, get away from it all. So she showed up in Punxsutawney today to ask Phil if he needs a roommate. Well, in Erie, this is a big year. The whole year is going to be a celebration. You'll be seeing these hats with a picture of Oliver Hazard Perry on them. Of course, the Great Lakes Fleet was built for the War of 1812 in Erie, and Oliver Hazard Perry was the commander of the fleet. You have to feel kind of sorry for people on Admiral Perry's ship. It must be it must make you kind of nervous when you're on a ship whose captain's middle name is Hazard. But he did okay. He led the fleet to a victory, and we were able to take Detroit back from the British Empire. This is not like that counts as a win or a loss. As Ben mentioned, I'm a lawyer. Yesterday I was talking to a client about bankruptcy. He owns a bar called the Hideaway Cafe. It's so well hidden that nobody ever shows up. I told him that I represented the previous owner of the Hideaway Cafe, and he went bankrupt too. client said, well, I guess that hideaway cafe just doesn't generate any income for anybody. I said, like, hell, I got 2 bankruptcies out of it. Keep them coming. Yeah, the economy is affecting everybody, including attorneys, including the legal profession. I went to school with a really beautiful gal. I ran into her not long ago. She's still just as beautiful as ever. Her practice is taking such a beating that she had to take a weekend job as a stripper. So I said, well, which job is better? She said, well, the one job, she makes about $300 an hour, making a fool of herself for anybody who gives her the money. But the other job, she takes her clothes off and dances on tables. Unless you do the math. It's been quite a week for me. Monday I went to the plastic surgeon. He said, Lloyd, when I get done with you, you're going to be as pretty as a picture. When I came out of surgery, I looked like the photo on my driver's license. So Tuesday I went to my astrologer, and she says, well, beware of tall, dark strangers. So what do you mean? Who am I looking for? Somebody with a suntan, a mustache, black person, Latin person? She couldn't tell me anything further. Well, I found out on Wednesday. I went to Smethport and I got in a fight with a 7-foot black bear. Thursday, when I went to my psychologist, he said I need to get in touch with my feminine side. Friday, I got a yeast infection. Yeah, as time goes by, there are constant reminders that we're getting older. You young people probably call them wake-up calls. Folks my age call them death knells. Like the other day, I went to the doctor, and he told me, he said, Lloyd, I'm going to need to get ripped. I said, you mean I'm going to have to hit the weights a little harder in the gym? He said, no, I need to schedule you for surgery. Then I went to after I turned 50, I went to the driver's license bureau, and I asked the lady, isn't there a question about being an organ donor? And she said, well, sir, after you turn 50, you don't have internal organs anymore. Your heart, lungs, and liver are now entrails. Just part of growing older. But you learn to live with it. You learn to make the best of it. Like the other day, I did a comedy show, and one of the other comics, a young fellow from New Jersey, decided to get a cheap laugh at my expense. He says, hey, I got Lloyd. Looks like my high school science teacher. He got a cheap laugh. After the show, you apologize, and I said, don't apologize. At my age and in my demographic, high school science teacher is downright hot. Think about it. High school science teacher at my age is better than rock stars. Look at the rock stars of my generation. Jerry Garcia, Frank Zappa, Kurt Cobain, all dead. Stevie Tyler, the lead singer in Aerosmith, can't even walk anymore. And then you got Mick Jagger. He used to shoot heroin, now he shoots a designer drug. It's got 3 things in it. Viagra, Botox, and embalming fluid. Thanks, I'm just trying to like to live. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's something I usually end my show with, and I call it the 5 presidents doing the 50 states in alphabetical order, starting with Richard Nixon. Here we go. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia. Wrong. Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, George 41, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Bill, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Ohio. I like Ohio. It's a state that's so great you have to say "oh" twice. Okay, where was I? Oh, that's not. Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Brock, South Dakota, Utah, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Hey, who's in front of the damn teleprompter? Well, it's me, George W. Y'all didn't invite me to do the states, so I thought I'd show up and do the territories. They're people too, you know. And I know all of them. Okay, I think. Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Northern Marianas, Guam. I can't think of it, but I know there's Samoa. And then there's lots of comedy tonight. We have a comedy from Cleveland. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, what we have is the comedy battle of Lake Erie. Two guys from Cleveland, two ladies from Erie, battling it out on stage. Our next performer is from Cleveland. He's a great comic.